an article in thehill.com that came out October 17th is basically saying there was a FBI uncovered Russian bribery plot before Obama administration approved controversial nuclear deal with Moscow. Oh man, this is by John Solomon and Alison Spann. I've seen this reported in several different places, but this is The Hill is the first sort of like somewhat mainstream site. The mainstream media itself on TV, they're not reporting this at all. They're not talking about this at all because I'd love to see Rachel Maddow actually talk about this. She's just talking about everybody else's Russia, Russia, Russia. I saw the link on the Green Party's Twitter feed because the Green Party is like, they tried to link Jill Stein to Putin and Russia and all this other stuff, but then this is why, in my opinion, the Russia gate, why we're not getting any real evidence. They just talk about it and there's a lot of smoke and mirrors because everyone's guilty that's actually involved. So they're uncovering the truth of all of this and they just, whoop, this doesn't fit. This doesn't fit everybody's narrative. But here's the information as reported by thehill.com. Before the Obama administration approved the controversial deal in 2010 giving Moscow control of large swath of American uranium, Obama did that, the FBI had gathered substantial evidence that Russian nuclear industry officials were engaged in bribery, kickbacks, extortion, and money laundering designed to grow Vladimir Putin's atomic energy business inside the United States. According to the FBI, federal agents used a confidential U.S. witness working inside the Russian nuclear industry to gather extensive financial records, make secret recordings, and intercept emails as early as 2009 that showed Moscow had compromised an American uranium trucking firm with bribes and kickbacks in violation of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FBI and court documents show. It gets better, kids. They also obtained an eyewitness account backed by documents indicating Russian nuclear officials had routed millions of dollars to the U.S. designed to benefit former Bill Clinton's charitable foundation. Now, that was, I've talked about this before, that was reported by the New York Times in 2015. That money flowed through the Clinton Foundation. And who was the Secretary of State during that time? Hillary Clinton served on a government body that provided a favorable decision to Moscow, sources told The Hill. The racketeering scheme was conducted with the consent of higher-level officials in Russia who shared the proceeds from the kickbacks, one agent declared in an affidavit years later. So why wasn't this brought forward? Why wasn't this all over the news in 2010? Why wasn't this all over the news? And this is the thing too, like, it's why the Republicans can't scream about it too much because Trump has some filthy deals in Russia. But it's why we can't, it's so, like, to see that interview a couple months ago with Hillary Clinton basically talking about, oh, well, WikiLeaks is basically a Russian news organization and all this other stuff. And then they're so brazen. So rather than bring charges in 2010, the Department of Justice continued investigating the matter for nearly 4 more years. Interesting. Essentially leaving the American public and Congress in the dark about Russian nuclear corruption on U.S. soil during a period when the Obama administration made 2 major decisions benefiting Putin's commercial nuclear ambitions. Oh, no. The deep state's not running stuff. No, the deep state's not running stuff. We're good. They just wanted to be thorough. The first decision occurred in October 2010 when the State Department and government agencies on the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States unanimously approved partial sale of the Canadian mining company Uranium One to the Russian nuclear giant Rosatom, giving Moscow control of more than 20% of America's uranium supply. Why would we give up 20% of our uranium supply? It's almost like we want there to be another Cold War. We want there to be an atomic arms buildup again because we don't have the Soviet Union, so we need Russia to get back in it so we can do that to make money. Why else would we give 20% of our uranium to Russia? When the sale was used by the Trump campaign in the last year, Hillary Clinton's spokesman said she was not involved in the committee review and noted the State Department official who handled it said she never intervened or any committee or foreign investment unit in the United States matter. In 2011, the administration gave approval of Rosatom's Tenex subsidiary to sell commercial uranium to U.S. nuclear power plants in a partnership with the United States Enrichment Corp. There's no governments anymore, folks. Before then, it's rollerball. This is rollerball. Only instead of on motorcycles, they're playing with uranium. Tenex had been limited to selling U.S. nuclear power plants reprocessed uranium recovered from dismantled Soviet nuclear weapons under the 1990s megatons to megawatts peace program. Oh. The Obama administration's decision to approve Rosatom's purchase of uranium had been a source of political controversy since 2015. That's when conservative author Peter Schweitzer in the New York Times documented how Bill Clinton collected hundreds of thousands of dollars in Russian speaking fees, and his charitable foundation collected millions in donations from parties interested in the deal while Hillary Clinton presided on the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States. This is why people don't like the Clintons and think they're all corrupt. I don't understand why you would think that and then go in the arms of Trump. You think Trump is better? Like, that's hilarious to me. But you got to understand, Clinton supporters, why people have such problems with this. This isn't wild Fox News conspiracies. This is the New York Times, right? The Obama administration and the Clintons defended their actions at the time, insisting there was no evidence that any Russians or donors engaged in wrongdoing, and there was no national security reason for any member of the committee to oppose the Uranium One deal. But the FBI, Energy Department, and court documents reviewed by The Hill show the FBI, in fact, had gathered substantial evidence well before the committee's decision that Vadim Merkurin, the main Russian overseeing Putin's nuclear expansion inside the United States, was engaged in wrongdoing starting in 2009. And they know that neoliberals will just discount any criticism of Obama and Clinton as just right-wing witch hunting, which the right wing does a lot of witch hunt bullshit. They create a lot of fake nonsense and fake birth certificate and all that racist shit they said about Obama, absolutely, and all the sexist crap they say about Hillary, absolutely. But then when there's a real thing here, like, wait a minute, this is when, we fall into our team. Well, you can't criticize Obama because I voted for him, or you can't criticize Hillary because I voted for her. And if you do, you're racist and sexist. Well, this is something that's really disconcerting to me as a guy that voted for Obama twice. And this is why I did not vote for Hillary Clinton. It's stuff like this. The fact that she voted for the war in Iraq, she voted for the Patriot Act, she helped Obama take us from 2 wars to 7, and he helped create 5.2 million foreclosures. Those are all facts. Those are not, he deported 2 million people. That's not a wild conspiracy conjecture. Then Attorney General Eric Holder was among the Obama administration officials joining Hillary Clinton on the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States at the time the Uranium One deal was approved. Spokesman for Holder and Clinton did not return calls. The Justice Department also didn't comment. This is just, this article goes on and on. You got to read the whole thing. It's very lengthy, and it shows you the documents and stuff like that. It's pretty, I just, it's crazy, and this is starting to unfold. And will the mainstream media talk about it in this way? No, they will not. Fox News might, but there will just be one-sided. They won't then, because this part of this, too, is how evil Trump is. They're all corrupt. So, it just shows you they're all so corrupt. And Trump, as I've said, is just a vulgar version of everything that's happened before. Right? It's like Julian Assange talked about this. The Green Party has talked about this. I just did a couple of videos how Donna Brazile was put on the Rules Committee for the Democratic Party, how they are using the same bullshit tactic of 2016 for their 2018 campaigns. They have no real platform. They have no real policy. There's some progressives out there trying to primary corporate Democrats, and good for them, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the 14th in New York, and there's a woman in Washington State, I believe, that both of whom have been interviewed by Jimmy Dore. So that's good stuff. But I just don't see how the Democratic Party, like we just both parties are horrifying. And people that think their party is better than the other one, it's unbelievable to me. This is just like, that the FBI and the Department of Justice didn't do anything about this for 4 years is preposterous. And then Trump brings it up on the campaign trail, and then Hillary is now blaming Russia rather than take responsibility for she ran a shitty campaign. Donna Brazile on her Twitter feed several months ago, it's like Russia interfering with our inaction, and she put in all caps, is an act of war. So Donna Brazile wants to go to war with Russia rather than say I'm a cheater. This is how insane it is. I mean, it's almost like I can't even believe what I'm reading and saying because it's so ridiculous. But this is how they do business, guys. Whew. Start a third party or get some real people to back the Green Party and turn it into a legitimate party, not just a little, outlier party that has to have bake sales. So I'm all for the Green New Deal. This is ridiculous. I can't, more evidence, guys. And when you support this show, I will talk about this. The mainstream media, Rachel Maddow will not be talking about this. I doubt it. If she does, I'm curious to hear what her angle would be. I'd be very curious if she just reported this as actual fact. I would be really shocked if she did that. So let's get to the truth. Let's get to the facts. Let's not stick to our teams. Okay? This is why we need to stick to the truth and the facts. And when we see corporate Democrats, when we see politicians sell out, when we see them do corrupt stuff, then we need to stand up. Even more so if we voted for them. Don't be quiet because, well, I voted for them and that party's my team. So no, you should be the loudest detractor because you were lied to. The vote, the trust that you gave this politician, and when they were elected, you gave them your trust that they would go into office and be honorable, and they're not. The Clintons aren't honorable. Obama was not honorable. Trump is clearly not honorable. He's a detestable piece of shit. The Bushes are not honorable. None of them are. None of them are. So, thanks for watching the show and supporting independent media. Link to the articles below, Patreon's below. YouTube keeps demonetizing my videos, so I need more help on the Patreon side. Thank you guys so much.